Number 2 relationship advice for men. 2 ladies. Own up when you're wrong.
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
I agree.
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay.
That was a growth point, though.
Why is that so hard to grow into that, though? Because, like, one of the guys said, apologize. It's something so small, but it goes so long when it comes to men.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why is that so hard for ladies to admit they are wrong? Or is it hard in y'all's opinion? Because, I mean, again, this is all 1,000.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This was the most number 3 request from men. Ladies, own up when you're wrong.
So I'll say this. I've been on both sides, right? Like, I've been the person who was so apologetic that I was just apologizing for no reason. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. But then I became this super strong, independent woman who was so opinionated that it didn't matter if I was wrong because I was so focused on you understanding why I was right.
Yeah.
So it took finding balance in that. So I'll say I understand why that's been posed because I've definitely been on both sides. But I'm at a point right now, like, if you can prove to me that I'm wrong or it's shown that I'm wrong.
Why does he have to prove to you that you're wrong, though?
Because, I mean, if you're wrong, you have to be shown that you're wrong. It's not about, like, belittling the person to be like, this is why you're wrong. But just, if I'm wrong, show me I'm wrong. And if that's the case, then okay, I'm apologizing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. You ever dated a lady, she did you wrong, and she didn't apologize?
Yeah.
How did that make you feel as a man?
As a man, honestly, it kind of took me back a little bit. Again, I'm only 21. I started being allowed to date when I was 16, so I don't have, that much experience. But, but I think, this is a side note. But my parents were saying I wasn't allowed to date until I was 16 because my mom said, I'm not driving you to your dates. I'm not paying for them. So, you need to have a car, you need to have a job. So that's what
I mean, I can respect mama for that.
Yeah.
You grew up in a single mother home?
No, I did not. I did not. Well, both my parents said it, but my mom's kind of the voice, my dad's just the agreeer.
Oh, okay. That's okay. Okay. Yeah, okay. So what happened?
With the girl?
Yeah.
You look so hurt.
Freshman year of college.
Ooh.
I was dating this girl. Not necessarily dating with her. We were kind of figuring each other out.
What's the difference? But what's the difference, bro? Figuring each other out or dating? Well, like...
That's true.
Physically figuring each other out? Or just... I know your mama gonna be watching this.
Hey, she knows. Mama Adrian knows. You know what's up, Mom. You know what's up.
I'm just saying, like, what's the difference in figuring each other out or dating?
Figuring if you wanted to, because
like getting to know each other.
Bro, drink some water. Okay. Is this the talking stage before a dating stage?
Yes, basically.
Okay.
Basically.
Right.
So this was because there was 2 ladies involved. I gotta drink to that, guys. I gotta drink to that because they're gonna be watching this. They're gonna be watching this.
That is not Jameson.
It's water, Aquafina. Not sponsored. But anyway, so
what are we doing? What are we doing?
This is so good. Go ahead.
So there were 2 ladies at the time.
My eyes are watching.
And so I was figuring out both of them. Seeing who I wanted to pursue more. And so one of the ladies, she lied on me and said I did something I didn't do. And that was very demasculating, number one, because again, it's my freshman year of college, trying to establish myself, trying to do this, trying to do that. And as a black man, if a lady says you do something that you didn't do,
yeah, that's a whole nother conversation.
That's what I'm saying. That's a rough kind of thing. So that was, when you said that was kind of the immediate kind of thing that brought me back to that. And so, it took her she just well, we haven't spoken for years. But literally the summer before my senior year, which is this past summer, she just randomly like texted me and said, hey, I'm really sorry that it happened. Like I genuinely apologize. I was hurt and I didn't mean to portray that hurt on you. And so, I made it seem like you were the bad guy when in reality I was. So for years I kind of carried on that hurt and, so.
That's a big thing, though.
That's a big thing.
That's a big thing.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm sorry you went through that.
I'm so sorry you went through that. I didn't know you was gonna go that deep.
Yeah.
Hey, it's we keep it real.
Real
We keep
relatable.
it real.
At the table.
Keep it real.
Pretty much.
Keep it real.
Rebecca, I know you have a hard time apologizing for when you're wrong.
Not true. Lies.
I'm just saying. No, have you ever had a hard time apologizing for when you're wrong?
Yeah, I have.
Why was it so hard as a woman?
As a woman, I feel like people in general have a hard time apologizing.
Admitting when you're wrong?
Yeah. I've experienced both men and women, like old and young, for that. But the big thing for me is I don't feel like I'm wrong a lot.
Right. I feel you. I don't think a lot of people think they're wrong.
Yeah, and so when it does happen, like say I may say something to someone and like it offends them or hurts their feelings, and they tell me, I'm like, oh! Like I kind of want to be like, well, you're being too sensitive or whatever. You don't want to cover it up because like it's being wrong is also being vulnerable.
Yeah.
And so vulnerability is hard for a lot of people. And so but now I don't want to carry around like that guilt from hurting anyone. And also I've been in another position too where I've always been like, I'm sorry when I don't need to.
Right.
And sometimes when someone does me wrong, not getting that apology hurts me. And so now like looking for, even though I am like having fun right now with dating, but ultimately I want a husband and I want to have like a really real relationship. And vulnerability is huge for that. So I think being like radically honest, like 100% myself. And then also if someone hurts me or if I hurt them, like making it a safe space for that apology.
Yeah.
I agree with you. All jokes aside, I think everyone has a problem with admitting when they're wrong. And not really admitting, well, not a problem, but I think it is challenging.
Yeah.
Because it takes an individual to be vulnerable. It takes an individual to set pride aside. And also, check this out. The other person who they're about to say, I'm sorry, I was wrong to, have to be mature to say, I know. Or have to be mature to not say, I know.
Right.
To not throw it into their face.
Or keep bringing it up.
Exactly. There has to be a safe space. So one of the questions I put inside the book, go ahead, what you about to say?
Well, I just wanted to add to that because I think sometimes we get caught up in who's right and who's wrong, but you're not looking at the perceptions of their reality of the situation.
Absolutely.
Which doesn't necessarily make this person right or this person wrong. It could just be a miscommunication on how everyone perceived the situation. Right. So like I may be looking at you and being like, how could you do this to me? How could you do this to me? You're wrong, you're wrong.
Yeah.
But on their end, they're not understanding or figuring, like it's just not being received that they even did anything wrong. It's not processing.
Right.
Because their perception of the situation is totally different. So I think sometimes we get so caught up in looking for an apology that you can't even move past the situation, opposed to saying, you know what, this is what has happened. This is the reality of the situation. What is my response to how it has affected me, instead of trying to get a response out of the other person who may not even be able to realize that they're in the wrong to begin with.
Yeah, but that's so good. That's so good. One of the questions that I say is a conversation starter, again, because I think while we are dating, how do we approach these hard conversations? I don't want to date someone who refuses to admit when they're wrong, because that just means when we get in a relationship, you won't admit when you're wrong. And so for me, go ahead.
And your relationship will only go so deep.
Yes.
Like the less open you're able to be, that's where the relationship stops. And I think too, like when it comes to admitting that you're wrong and being open to hearing the other person out, you're interested in the health of the relationship as a whole.
Yes.
Because it's like, it's not just, me against you, like us fighting who's gonna win. But it's like, okay, for the sake of the relationship, like let's solve this, let's figure it out, because I don't want to hurt your feelings again.
Right. And so while you're dating, here's one good question you can ask. And it's simply, hey, in your opinion, what's worse, to say I'm sorry and not mean it or not say it at all? And I think that just creates a conversation at the dinner table or while we're driving home to really understand both sides of their thoughts, both sides of their opinions, both sides of, okay, is he or is she a forgiver? Do they know how to set their pride aside? And that's a hard question to ask because you're going to have disagreements inside of a relationship. And two, you're going to make mistakes inside of the relationship. And I remember the last young lady I dated, I had to admit that I was wrong. When we decided to, go separate ways, I had to admit, okay, it's easy to blame the other person, but I think a real man and a real woman, or let me take that back, a mature man and woman will apologize and say, yo, I'm sorry. And not that you're a sorry individual, but you apologize for the action or for the words that you've said and committed. And I think it just creates a good conversation to have.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that I'm having to remind myself as a man, like, yo, boy, set your pride aside. Not just with, Rebecca, I blamed something on you a couple weeks ago. I said, Rebecca, I'm so sorry. That was actually me, my fault. And I had to set my pride aside. Even though I'm cutting her a check every month, I'm like, yo, but still, you want her to know that, hey, she could trust you and you're a man of character and integrity. She didn't have to ask me. I was like, yo, Rebecca, I'm so sorry. That is totally my fault. I screwed up. Boom. Like, it just creates a good, healthy relationship.
Right.